What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Chilling outside, smoking, drinking a little Jack Daniels and Coke. Got a little stick I got earlier. Gonna sit out here and enjoy this view. I got some big things happening in my life that I am going to discuss with you guys in a later date. New job and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. But today, guys, we're really talking about Carnival Cruise Lines. A lot of stuff has been happening. A lot of YouTubers have already talked about this. You know, the bans, the no hip hop, the reward loyalty program, all that stuff. But I really wanted to wait. Right? I didn't want to rush this adjustment. Right? I've been a loyal cruiser since 05. I was around 2 or 3 years old. Been on 16 cruises, 14 Carnival. What's cool is I actually found this right here, Carnival Celebration. That was the most recent cruise I've been on. This was, does it say? Here, yeah. December 17th, 2023, right? That was the last cruise I've been on. But I was thinking about taking another cruise, all that. You guys know I've been traveling, I've been to Cuba and stuff like that, but I was definitely going to fire up cruising again since a lot of things happened in my life. But over the last 3-4 weeks, the cruise news space has been crazy. So I sat back and watched. And someone who is a gold member, I'm 8 days away from being platinum, right? So I've been cruising with Carnival for a while. But just like the title says, I think I'm not going to cruise Carnival anymore. Now, granted, that is a little clickbait. I'll definitely cruise Carnival before, but as once I was loyal, I've been on 2 Royal Caribbean cruises, and I really, really liked them. But there was always something that was like Carnival's home for me, right? There's something that was always bringing me back to Carnival, even though actually last year I was supposed to go on Icon of the Seas. Didn't do it due to some family issues and stuff like that. So last minute, I wasn't able to go. But I was gonna be loyal to Carnival. But there's a couple big changes that happened. You guys know, Carnival is really trying to crack down on their image. You guys know people called Walmart, or not Walmart, but they call Carnival the Walmart, Spirit Airlines of the Seas, Section 8 of the Seas. That's their brand. And to be honest, I have always agreed with it. Like, when people wanted to go on cruises, they come to me because they know, like, this kid's knowledgeable about cruises. There's at one point I was actually trying to go work on a cruise ship. That's how obsessed I was about cruising. So I tell people this all the time. I'm like, yo, if you don't like that ghetto stuff, I'm not saying you don't cruise Carnival, but what I always told people was, you don't cruise short sailings and on old ships. You combine those two, you get on a cruise that's $99, and Tarkeisha, who lives in the Bronx for 6 kids, is going to be on that boat in fucking Miami, Florida, and they're going to be fucking wild. There's going to be 6 of them in the inside cabin, and it's going to be a free-for-all. You feel me? And not to be like stereotypical, but that's just what it is. Like, come on now. My people know it. Us black people, other races and groups know it. And now Carnival knows it. They've always known it. But now they're trying to change. And to be honest, at first I was like, you know what? I mess with it because, like, the last thing, I live in New York. Right? I grow up here. The last thing I'm trying to, when I go down to cruise, the last thing I want to do is feel like I'm back in the Bronx or in Brooklyn. You know, nothing but do-rag, bonnet wearing, loud ass motherfuckers. Now, granted, it comes with the territory, and to be honest, when you sprinkle a little ghetto-ness, sometimes it could be fun, but we all know there's a real straight line of like having fun and then just wilding out. Bunch of YNs running around. One of the things was, like, I think anybody under 18 can't be out past 12. Now, I have to admit, I'm 22 years old. I've been cruising Carnival, 16 cruises, so you can kind of do the math. First cruise, I was around 2 to 3 years old, so you can kind of do the math. That rule came into effect because of kids like me. I'm not even going to hold you. I was running, like, we would get out of Circle C, not really Camp Carnival. There's Circle C and there's one other one, Club O2. We would get out of there and we would be wild and we'd be going to the pools. And that's kind of my memory. That's one of the reasons why I hold on to Carnival so tight, because, like, yo, I grew up on Carnival. I grew up making so many friends on Carnival, and you'll never see them again. But, like, in that moment, you're, like, best friends. It's weird. Cruising, if you've never been, you'll be on a cruise for 7 days, and if you keep hanging out with a person, by the third or fourth day, you feel like you've known this person your whole life. It's so weird, and you'll never experience that nowhere else in the world. This cruise Carnival Celebration, there's 20 of us in a group chat, even to this day. And even though, yes, the group chat has died off since then, there's even a few people still trying to plan cruises. Like, yo, they're going on like a Virgin cruise next year. It's like January. I'm not going, but but that shows you, it was crazy. Like, we had a group chat in the Carnival app, and then when we left, we all got into the group chat on Instagram. But, like, we was like a gang. We were just like, yo, we're all going to the theater. We're going to the comedy club. We're going to casino. Yo, everybody pull up. And, like, it was just wild because, like, I was someone who was in the club every night. So, like, by the third, fourth day, you see who else is in the club every night. Like, there's going to be people who are going to go in the club once, maybe twice, and that's it. Nah. The people who, like, was in the club every night, we just all gravitated to each other. So, like that. And, like, for me, I'm an introvert until it's time to be outgoing. So I was just making friends. I was shooting the shit, making fun of people. You know, going up to people that's just like stands up on the wall, posted up like they security. I was making fun of them, cracking jokes, drinking. But yeah. So, like, even though, yeah, Carnival's way more rowdy, I kind of like it. But the best way to get around that, from rowdy to fun to the ghetto, is cruise like the Carnival Celebration, right? 7, 8, 9 day cruises. It's more expensive. It's the newer ships. Newer ships cost more money, right? Like, even a 7-night cruise on the it's no longer the Carnival Victory. The Carnival Sunrise might be $500, where this cruise could be $800, $900, $1,000 for inside cabin. So you're gonna kind of get around that ghetto crowd. Still gonna get a lot of fun, you know. It's not a completely boring cruise, but I liked it. But Carnival's making changes, no more hip hop and stuff like that. And do I agree with it? I guess, fine, whatever. Like, I was never the person that was like getting into fights, stuff like that. But I like hip hop, like, you know what I mean. So it's like, it kind of sucks because it's like, yo, I like listening to hip hop. I like listening to R&B. And it feels like, yo, I feel like I'm also getting punished because of other people's actions. You feel me? Like, I didn't do nothing. I didn't wild out. I've been on 16 of these months, you know? And I've never wilded out. And don't get me wrong, I'm a heavy drinker. Like, my next cruise, I'll be getting drink package because I racked up a tab. This was my first official cruise over 21. This one right here. So I wilded out. You feel me? I wilded out. I've been on other cruises where I was able to go to the Bahamas and Caribbean to drink there, but it's not the same. You can't drink on the boat or guys wilding out on their bikes. But, you know, it's different. Like, it was crazy. I was in the club at 18, 19, 20, right, before I could drink there, because they would allow you to go in the club, but just be like, you can't drink, and I don't think you can drink at the bar. But, like, I was getting real friendly with other people where they would buy me drinks. One of the cruises I went on with my nephew, they would buy him drinks. So I would probably get tore up, but it's not the same. But no hip hop, I don't know. Like, I've seen videos, TikToks, Instagram Reels where they're still playing hip hop. And then I've seen other cruises where they're in a club and it's dead. So I'm a little weary on it, but it wouldn't stop me until they changed the loyalty program. Now, I've been on Carnival long enough to remember the first loyalty program they had, rewards program, whatever you want to call it, when it wasn't the amount of days you spent on a cruise, it was actually the amount of cruises. Yeah. And I remember right when they changed it, I was like 1 to 2 cruises away from hitting platinum. So I've literally been gold like my entire life. So yeah, I was like 1 or 2 cruises away from being platinum, and then they changed it. And as a kid, I was pissed. I was like, man, and it's crazy because, to be honest, why do I really care about these things? But I don't know. It's just status. It's being able to walk around, this like hanging off your collar, and it's like a flex. It's like, yeah, I've been doing this. You feel me? You seen all the guys walking around with red cards and blue ones. The blue ones was like first time cruisers, and I'll be walking up to chicks and be like, yeah, girl, you're a blue card. You feel me? Holla at your boy Gold. Yeah, I've been doing this like 16 times. You know, ain't nothing. You feel me? Flexing that, even though nobody really gives a shit. But you know me as a kid, I was wilding like that. So they eventually changed it to amount of days. Fast forward to 2025, I am 8 days away, probably 1 cruise, maybe, from hitting platinum, finally. And then Carnival was like, yep, starting 2026 in June, they're getting rid of the days. Where it's going to come down as the amount of money you spend. But here's the problem. I'm at the age I've been on every cruise you can be on in the Caribbean. So right now, I'm only cruising for ships at this point, right? Like I said, I was supposed to go on Icon last year. Now, I wanted to do the Carnival private island, but we're going to talk about why now it doesn't look like it. I'm going to talk about that later. So really, for me, outside of maybe Europe, which I would probably go Royal Caribbean because Carnival don't really got that too many good sailings in the Med like that. I also want to travel by plane a little bit more. I've been going to Cuba quite a bit. I went to Cuba the last couple years. Supposed to go to this year, but because of my new job, I don't really know. Again, I'm going to talk about that in another video. But I want to go to Asia. I want to go to Africa, and a lot of these places you can go on a cruise, but like I'll tell people this all the time, cruises is the best way to travel the world because you get to see multiple things, and then from there, if you find a place that you want to go back to, you want to spend a couple of days, a week to explore more, you can. And for me, I've experienced that I want to go to some of these places and spend anywhere between 5 to 7 to 8 days in places like Asia, things like that take damn near 24 hours of travel time. I would, if it was my opinion and my choice, I would spend upwards to 2 weeks there, no problem. So when I want to do stuff like that, cruises really don't really work no more. Now granted, I have friends who want to go on a cruise, right? They've never been on cruises. They're like, oh my god, I don't want to go. So like, fine. You know, I'll never turn on a cruise. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, a couple years ago, I went to the Carnival Paradise, right? Super old shit. I'm talking about old. But I went anyway because I'm like, yo, a cruise is a cruise. Now, granted, the beautiful thing about that is that started my love for Cuba and stuff like that. Almost knocked over my drink. That's crazy. But anyway, they changed the rewards program to how much money you spend. And to stay in my gold, right? It starts June of 2026, and it's going to be the amount of money. It's like stars, but let's be honest, it's money. And to stay in this, right, and every 2 years it kind of resets, right? So like it has, like whatever money you spend in 2 years, that's where you're locked in. And to stay in gold would cost me $3,000. Now, I don't know if it's per person or like if I pay for the cabin, right? It all goes to me. I guess that's something they're going to tell us at a later date. But $3,000 comes out to around $1,500, which is about maybe a cruise a year. I don't think I'm going to do it, bro. I really don't see myself going on a cruise a year right now. You know, spending $3,000 because of what I just said, right? Because I have so many other plans. Like, I don't think this year's a wash, right? I'm starting a new job, so I don't really know. Next year, I got a few places in mind, but then probably the year after that is I'm gonna make the jump to Asia, Europe, or something like that. I'm gonna just do it. So spending $3,000 in the next 2 years is not in the foreseeable picture for me. You know, and even if I took a cruise with everything else going on, I mean, MSC has come into the picture. I still want to go on one of the Icon ships. Everybody tells me you need to try Virgin. Everybody's telling me you need to try Norwegian, because I always wanted to cruise out of New York City. Who's really most known of cruising out of New York City? Even though there's every line's here, Norwegian. Norwegian's pretty known for cruises out of New York City. So I was thinking about trying Norwegian. I don't know. But there's so many things I want to do. Where it's going to be hard for me to spend $3,000. But let's say I find a way to spend $3,000. Okay. How do I get to platinum? Because that's really where I want. It's platinum. I don't care about diamond, things like that. I was never going to probably ever get there in my life. Platinum, since I'm already almost there. But let's say even if I take a cruise before June, right? 8-day cruise, boom, I get the platinum and it locks me in for the next 2 years. How do I stay there? Well, my friend, to be platinum, you have to spend $8,000. Yeah. $1,000 over the course of 2 years. Now, if you have a family, that might be possible. If they're giving you, like, if you spend $4,000 and they don't break it up, be like, oh, there's 4 people in the cabin, we're gonna break everybody's points for $1,000, like 1,000 points or $1,000 for each person, which I would think is bullshit in my opinion. But let's just say they just go with everybody in the cabin gets $4,000 worth of stars or points for your cruise. So if you do a family of 4, $4,000. That's roughly around what my parents spent when we go on cruise. Around $4,000 to $5,000. You would always get 2 cabins that are next to each other, and it'll always be somewhere around there. And then when you incorporate things like excursions, stuff like that, drinks, $4,000, yeah, for 4 people, yeah, you can hit that. That's doable. I don't got no family. You guys can see, look around me. There ain't nobody here. So $4,000 a year, so $8,000 for 2 years. That ain't happening. I'm letting you guys know. If somebody gave me $8,000 and they were like, yo, travel right now, go somewhere. Even though I love cruises, I love it. But right now, in my position, who's pretty much a solo traveler at this point, I'm not doing a cruise. I'm going overseas. I'm going to Asia. I'm going to Europe. I'm going to Dubai. I'm like, you feel me? Like, I'm like, no, I'm not. If I had $8,000 to spend, for me, I travel in cruises because they're super, super cheap. To take a cruise right out of here, go down to Florida, you could drive or fly. I'm probably going to fly. I'm not driving for 24 hours, wasting an entire day. 2 days, really, because down and back. But you can go on cruises for very, very affordable, especially if you have a second person, right? It could cost you a couple $100, and all of a sudden you're on a cruise going to the Bahamas or the Caribbean. But $8,000, and I'm by myself. I'll tell you that right now, guys. That does not look like it's gonna happen. So I'm not gonna lie. And I'm probably gonna lose my gold status. So now I'm really irritated, which means it's hard for me to go. And then they finally opened the new private island for Carnival. I've been to Coco Cay, Perfect Day, Coco Cay. I've been there on Independence of the Seas. Did I go there in Harmony? I don't really remember. But I've been there before. And I'm not gonna lie, I've seen pictures and it looks nice. Does it look better than Coco Cay? Granted, it's July 18th. So this is still pretty new. So it's time to grow on. But here's the thing. Like a couple weeks back, they were like, what to bring on to the island? I saw credit cards. Why am I bringing credit cards, right? Everything is usually through the card, right? And even that, I got drink packages, food packages. That shit work, right? No, it doesn't. You got a drink package? No, sir. So you're telling me I'm on Carnival property and I have a drink package on the boat, but when I go onto an island that's ran and owned by Carnival, my drink package no longer works. So now I gotta spend money out of pocket. On Royal Caribbean, which is what I was like, yo, one, Royal Caribbean Private Island was crazy. You can do so many things. I went to the water park. I went to the big pool area, and then we found the pool area where there's the DJ, and they were balling. We found people that was on the ship with us, and it was crazy. When I went on Independence, the DJ was terrible. I was in the club almost every night. The DJ fucking sucked. But we got to the private island, and the DJ was cooking. He was cooking. Actually, I think I posted a video when I was there, like a little GoPro video montage, stuff like that. Go check that out. If you want to see, you'll see clippings of what I'm talking about. But on the island, he was jumping. I don't know. And then it works, like your drink package works on the private island, which makes a lot of sense. For me, that works. Now, I've heard you gotta pay for food. Now, I heard they got some free options, like what Carnival does in some of their special restaurants, where like for the first time you go there, it's free, but if you want to go there again, it pays money. So I've heard that there's like a couple restaurants there that you can go to. The first time it's free, and when you want to go back, it costs money. I don't know how to feel about that because I went to Coco Cay, and they had really good ass food, and I didn't pay for none of that. So I can't talk on it, but it's like I feel like I'm going to their private island to get nickeled and dimed. Where Royal Caribbean, who's the more expensive line, who I always tell people, like, yo, if you got a little bit extra money to spend, Royal Caribbean is your place to go. If you want to be a little bit more budget friendly, Carnival, definitely. If you want to have fun, probably Carnival. But now, they're starting to nickel and dime us, and I don't like it's weird to the point. I'm at the point now, almost done with that I really don't even want to go anymore. So, yeah, guys, I think that I've been on 14 cruises with Carnival, and they probably lost a loyal customer, right? Between multiple things going on, so many lines being competitive, and now MSC cruises are cheaper sometimes than Carnival cruises. I've heard mixed reviews, but I heard the newer ships, like things like the Seascape and even World America, they stepped up their game when it comes to food and stuff like this. That might be the move, and I think that a lot of people who are Carnival lovers who went there because Carnival was super cheap. I think all the cruise lines are going to get a small bump. I think just going to people will be leaving, but I think a lot of people are going to go to MSC. And to be honest, don't be surprised if I do try it. I seen the World America for the first time a couple months ago in PR. Me and my family, me and my dad, we always go to PR. He has a place there, so it's just like a flight. We don't got to pay for no housing, no Airbnbs, no nothing. And got to see World America, and she's giant. I've seen very large cruise ships, and World America, I was like, wow. She's a big ass ship. And I'll be honest, I actually have a picture of her in my phone. So I don't know. There's a lot. So I think that if Carnival's watching it, if their CEOs are watching it right now, I get what you're trying to do. I get that you want to change your image, but I think you went a little too far, especially with the loyalty program. I think it's a slap in the face of all people who are loyal to Carnival. And I know, like, this is a tactic to possibly, maybe even to attract more wealthier clients. But to be honest, if I was someone who just had deep pockets, I'm not gonna hold you. I don't think you compete with Royal Caribbean. When we're talking for dollar to dollar, I think the thing that makes Carnival compete with Royal Caribbean is because Carnival's cheaper than Royal Caribbean. Like, to be honest, I think they kind of go for two different groups, even though there's like one group that kind of, you can go to both, but really, truly, I think that it's just different cultures. But if you're trying to get that super high-end groups that go to Royal Caribbean, that goes to celebrity, princess, things like that, people who's Coongard, I think I said that right, maybe I didn't, I don't know. People who spend a lot of money, tens of thousands of dollars. Like, I heard the biggest room on Icon of the Seas could be $80,000 for a week. Yeah. And if you're someone who can spend $80,000 for a week, I love Carnival. but I'm not looking Carnival's way when I'm spending $80,000 a week. I'm just not. You know what I mean? So I don't know what Carnival's doing right now. A lot of people are upset, and I wanted to take a couple weeks to kind of wrap my mind around it, to see more information to come out, to truly make a decision. And I've made it that I'm no longer gonna be loyal to Carnival. I'm not. Carnival wants to play these games and stuff like that, even though some of them I agree with. To be honest, the way I tell people all the time, you vote by your wallet, straight up. If you don't like something a company does, do not do business with them. Trust me this, bro. If enough people do that, they will change. They're a like a for-profit company, and they're gonna chase money. They're gonna do whatever is more profitable. And if people stop cruising on them because they don't like this new reward system, they don't like that the drink package and the food package don't work on the island, you know, ban the people who are wild. Absolutely. Have canines out for dudes who are smoking. Because I've been on a couple cruises and I have been offered weed. I'm selling bud. I ain't snitch on nobody. I just be like, nah, big dog. You feel me? I'm cool. I don't smoke except cigars, but that is kind of a problem on cruises. Now, granted, I'll have to say this though, they kind of only do it to black people. I've seen multiple times like they walk by mad white people, right? And then they get to me and they be like, "Yo," I'm like, "Nah, bro, I'm good." But to be honest, Jimmy over there, he kind of look like a pothead. But you skipped in because you just saw a brother. But nah, big dog, you know, I'm chilling, bro. You know, this is my poison of choice. I don't need multiple addictions. I'm not saying I'm addicted, but if I am going to start getting addicted one day, which I pray I don't need alcohol, weed, women. That's too much. You know what I mean? Too much, bro. All jokes aside, guys. Let me know how you guys feel about this new stuff in Carnival. I literally just watched today a woman getting kicked off. Might have been a Carnival Sunrise in the Bahamas. I think it was like the first day, like second day, like because they go from Miami to Nassau, and they were getting kicked off. Don't know what she did, but the dude had like the meta glasses and just recording them getting kicked off. Bunch of black chicks and shit like that, which is sad. I mean, like they kind of give us all a bad rap. These certain group of black people, because it ain't always. So. Kind of a culture problem, but that's a discussion for another day. But nah, yeah. So tell me how you guys feel about this. You know, what cruise line are you guys gonna go on? I don't know what my next cruise is, even though my friends are telling me that they want to go on a cruise next year. Now, granted, we was thinking about next summer, but our mind shifted a little bit because of the rules for the rewards program is changing. But we might just say fuck it. We might do a Royal Caribbean cruise. Go to Coco Cay, get the drink package for like 3-4 days. I don't know. Go on the new Oasis class ship that does the 4-day cruises. What is it called? I don't know. I'm having a brain fart. I literally just saw this today. We might do that. I think, is it out of Miami or Port Canaveral? One of those ones. I don't know. So maybe I'll just do that next summer with the boys and stuff like that, and we'll have a lot of fun. So yeah, some big things coming to the channel, guys. Like I said, I'm gonna talk about that in future videos. This video is running a little long, so that's it for me, guys. Let me guys know that what cruise lines you guys are going to be traveling on from here on out. Let me know, guys. And I've heard a lot of things about Virgin. I always thought Virgin was a little not my speed, but the amount of people that keep telling me, yo, I had so much fun, yada yada yada. Let me know you guys feel the same. Maybe I'll take another look at Virgin, things like that. Maybe that might be the move over the next couple years. All right, so I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Yeah.